The State Department confirms it's drawing down the number of personnel in the U.S. Embassy in Kabul due to security threats. This comes as the U.S. prepares to pull troops out of Afghanistan. Senior foreign correspondent Ian Pannell has more on the new security concerns and the new threat from the Taliban.
This morning, the U.S. ordering some staff at the embassy in Afghanistan to leave because of security threats. The military withdrawal, set to officially start this weekend, has already begun as the U.S. beefs up defences to protect troops pulling out. The Taliban now more powerful and confident than at any time since they were ousted. In an exclusive interview, a Taliban commander warning the U.S. must stick to the original withdrawal date of May 1st or face consequences. He says if something happens, it'll be unfortunate for the U.S.
That sounds like a veiled threat.
Hey, this way, this way.
But President Biden pushing the deadline for forces to pull out to September 11th. Experts now warning when the troops leave, extremism could threaten America again.
There are more than 20 terrorist groups actively operating as we speak in 22 provinces of this country.
So when America says extremism has been defeated, you're suggesting it hasn't.
It's fiction. It's a myth.
The world now watching amid fears of what the pullout means for Afghans.
What we do over the next 4 months is going to impact the lives of women for generations to come.
At this U.S.-funded girls' high school, a sense of betrayal and fear for the future.
Americans should be here and we should continue our lessons and our wishes should come true.
And Ian Pannell joins me live now from Kabul, Afghanistan, with more on that. Ian, those teenage girls, they've lived their entire lives with the American military in their country. How big of a change will this be for the people of Afghanistan when you look at just the day-to-day?
I mean, a great question. And look, this underlines how radically different potentially it's going to be. Yes, they've only grown up during the American presence in the country. They've been able to have the benefits of that presence. I asked 4 16-year-old girls, full of energy, full of life, full of enthusiasm for the future. One wants to be an international businesswoman. The other wants to be a journalist or a media executive. The other wants to be a doctor and an engineer. The same kind of aspirations we see from young girls elsewhere in the world. I then asked them how many of their mothers had gone to school, had the same opportunities, and not one of them said their mums had gone to school. And that underlines quite how radically things have changed. They're all acutely aware of the Taliban's history. It's made promises that this time round things could be different. It's changed its policies. It does have some schools in Taliban territory. But there's a lot of criticism that those schools are only for young girls, that when girls hit puberty, they're not allowed to go to school or they're severely limited in numbers. And just lastly, we also spoke to a female former MP, former member of parliament, who's negotiating with the Taliban. She was a med student in her 3rd year, top of her class when the Taliban came to power. Her class was closed, her university was closed, as were all schools for girls, and she called the decision by President Biden a betrayal of women and girls. Diane?
And Ian, I know you sat down with a Taliban commander. What was your impression? How serious are the threats they're making right now?
It's the second time only that I've ever spoken to the Taliban directly, and the other time was around 2008, 2009. At that point, they came in hiding. He covered his face. He put on dark glasses. We couldn't identify who he was, and he had a very kind of parochial view, really, of the battle. It was about the American presence, and they were against it. This time round, this was Taliban 2.0, exuding confidence. Didn't hide his face, as you saw in my report there. Was happy for his name to be used, although it's kind of a nom de guerre, but again, saying that he thinks the US has been defeated and warning what happens if the US, or potentially happens, if the US doesn't abide by the May the 1st deadline. Their ambition is for an Islamic emirate in Afghanistan. They make no bones about that. And I said to him, although he's diplomatic, they're political now. They understand what the United States wants to hear. They don't say they want to take over the country. But I said to him, is it your dream to see the white flag of the Taliban flying once more here in Kabul? And he just couldn't resist smiling and saying, absolutely.
All right, Ian Pannell in Kabul. Thanks, Ian. Stay safe.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.